YouTube is a very saturated platform with hours and hours of content being uploaded every second. For this reason, it takes creativity to come up with ideas for content that people actually want to watch. Ultimately though, if you're thinking of YouTube as not just a hobby, but a possible future career, it's important to know that you'll only succeed and stick with it if you enjoy the content you're making. One trap many aspiring YouTubers fall into early on is focusing only on the monetary prospects and financial side of making videos. Your motivation for making videos shouldn't just be money, at least not if you want to stick with it and maintain a happy outlook. With that said, if you haven't already thought about what kinds of videos you want to make, start paying attention to what kind of content you find appealing. What catches your eye? Ask yourself a couple of these questions. What makes me keep coming back? Is it the personality of the creator? Is it the video effects or the filming style? Is it the comedy? Here's a pro tip. Keep a notebook or the Notepad app on your phone open when you're watching videos so that you can take notes on what appeals to you most when you're watching them. It's a good way to keep all your ideas in one place and not just rely on your memory to do all the hard work. Alright, so let's talk about a few ideas for videos you could make if you're just starting out on YouTube. You could make travel videos, you can show off cooking videos, short films, become a vlogger, make comedy skits, create music videos, show yourself playing instruments, or maybe some art time lapses. Of course, there's so much more you could do on YouTube, but there's just a few ideas to get your creative juices flowing. Now, let's talk about choosing a setting for your videos.
Settings should be natural for the content that you're making. If you want to be an indoor vlogger, you want to be someone right in front of the camera with a talking head, similar to this. You don't have to go out and purchase a new studio. Really, you can just shoot this type of thing in your bedroom like I'm doing, or in your living room, or a space that's creative for you in your own house. The key thing to think about when you're shooting indoors is having good lighting. If you have a setting that's inside, you want to be either by a big window or get some lights that look good. Additionally, if you're going to be a travel vlogger or shoot music videos, that might be outdoors or in specific places for your scenes, but just make sure the setting kind of matches the content that you're making. And with this, just keep it simple. You don't have to have anything fancy. You can usually just start with what you have on hand, because half of the battle is usually just getting started and getting your first video out there online. A good setting needs to be three things. It needs to be clear, it needs to be relevant, and it needs to be sustainable. Let's break those down one by one. So first of all, clear. Your subject needs to be clearly seen on screen, whether it be you properly lit in your bedroom or your spaghetti sauce properly framed in your kitchen. Your audience must see what's going on. It needs to be clear and obvious. Next, relevant. Your backdrop and your scene needs to be relevant to your type of content. If you're going to make storytelling vlogs and talking heads, if you're going to have things behind you in your background or in your scene, it should be pertaining to your story or relevant to the kind of content you're making. And sustainable. Your setting needs to be one that you can replicate. If you plan on making more episodes of your specific style of content, then make it easy on yourself to create a cohesive feel by starting off with something you can build on in future videos. For example, maybe a specific wall that you film in front of your room, or maybe there's a park bench outdoors that you really want to keep filming your videos at. Just keep it sustainable, something you can go back to, because if you really like it, you want to keep doing it. It's time to jump into what accessories are going to be good to help you film and make your life easier when you're filming. Now, these are definitely not imperative. You can make videos without any of these, but this will help make your life easier if you decide to do this regularly. The first thing that I think you should pick up as a filmmaker or as a YouTuber would be a tripod, a nice tripod. It doesn't have to be super expensive. There's some nice cheap ones on Amazon you can get for around $35 or so. The one I'm filming on right now is actually a $35 tripod, and I'll just kind of show you a picture of it right here. But a good quality tripod is going to help your camera stay stable without you having to jerry-rig it on top of furniture. And the nice thing about it is you can set up your shot and walk away. Now, obviously, you don't have to have a tripod for this depending on where you're shooting. You can just put some stuff on top of a desk, which I have done for years. But if you want to step it up and make your life a little easier, a tripod is a dedicated accessory for this purpose. Additionally, these come with smartphone mounts, so if you're just shooting with your smartphone, that's totally fine. You can pick up a little smartphone attachment for your tripod, again on Amazon for like $8, and I think that's a good investment. Check out the class worksheet for any of the products that I'm mentioning so that you can see and get a feel for kind of what's good and what to look for. Next, A microphone. Whether you plan on being on camera or not in your YouTube videos, good audio quality is absolute king. I cannot stress this enough. People will stop watching your video immediately if the audio is trash. And your audio doesn't have to be garbage. We'll talk a little bit about this in the next lesson so that you can get some examples of what different microphones sound like and all that, so stay tuned. This next accessory is really good if you're filming inside. So if you want to do talking heads or vlogs, video lighting. Video lighting is a great thing to have to make sure you look good. It's a really good idea to pick up some high quality lights for shooting indoors if you plan on doing this regularly, because if you don't and you just use what's usually available in your house, based on the temperature of the lights, they're not always what they call daylight temperature, which is what the light I'm using is, which is pretty natural and looks like sunlight. It could be like orangish or bluish or weird tones. Overhead lamps that are built into your house typically aren't made to look great on camera. Let me show you what I mean. So this is what this exact same scene looks like when I'm just using the light in my room above me and nothing else. So that's not great. And here's what it looks like when I just have my window open and no light on at all. Again, not ideal. And now we're back with the light that I basically made. This is a DIY light. It's not a professional video light by any means. And I'll actually share that in the class resources so you can make this. This was about $35 total. And that comes with a light stand, an LED light strip, and a power source. So it's literally a cake pan with LEDs inside of it. But it looks nice and soft and it does the job. So obviously you can see what it looks like with the light on, and I think it definitely makes a difference. And here's a pro tip. You don't always have to use lighting setups. If you have a nice window that can bring in soft light on you, film in front of that. Again, starting out, use what you have, even if it's just the sun. This next section can be done before or during the process of your video. I usually suggest before because it can help you get in the frame of mind for the type of video you're going to make. But let's just talk about finding background music or music for your videos. Why is music important in videos? If you're doing something like a talking head where you're just talking to the camera, or a vlog or something, you want to keep it exciting. And a good way to not lose your viewers' attention is by adding just a little bit of music in the background. It doesn't have to be super loud. It doesn't need to overpower your voice, but just enough to keep people excited and watching. And this isn't going to apply to all types of videos that you could make on YouTube. Background music isn't going to be applicable for every type of video, so if it's not for the type of video you're making, that's totally fine. A list of those could be making music videos or playing instruments or videos where the audio is going to be obstructed or you really need to hear what's going on. That is okay if you don't need the music. But for vlogs, presentations, travel videos, a whole list of other things, you might really need some background music, and it can help your videos stay upbeat. So here's how to find that. A great source for music these days, especially for YouTube videos, is found on YouTube itself. They have and offer a complete music library for you to use. It's all royalty free, or most of it is, and it's immediately available for download. The nice thing is you can make money off of your videos using this music because it's carefully selected and you don't have to worry about owning rights to it and things like that. Additionally, you can find sites like MusicBed or Epidemic Sound. I personally just started using Epidemic Sound, and the reason I like Epidemic Sound is you can try a free trial, which gives you 2 weeks with full access to their website, full access to their full music, the whole library, as much as you want, so you can see how much you like it. And that's a great way to find some high quality sounds that are not the same as everyone else's, because a lot of the YouTube library has been used a lot. It doesn't always matter when you're starting out, but when you want to find something unique, Epidemic Sound, MusicBed, those type of sites are really good. They do cost like a monthly fee after the trial is over. With Epidemic Sound, I think it's like $15 a month or something like that, but that can be a good investment in the long run. And of course, there's always making music for your videos. So if you're someone who's musical, or if you have a friend or family member who's able to make some music for your videos, throw them a free coffee. So once you've got your video shot and you have your music picked out if you need it, it's time to start editing your video. And if you've never edited a video before and don't even know where to start, that is totally fine, because it doesn't have to be very hard. There's a few different ways to get your videos looking just like you want them without a lot of work. If your video just requires a few simple cuts and adding a background track and maybe a little bit of text, or a simple presentation with slides. iMovie is a great way to go if you have an Apple device. Especially if you filmed with your iPhone. It actually comes with your iPhone, and it's really easy to edit on, to just drop the clips in, as well as music and text. I actually edited one of my Skillshare classes on my iPhone because I didn't have a computer accessible at the time. So not only did I make the slides for my video and record the audio through the headphones, but I edited the entire video on iMovie, which was free because it came with my iPhone. Again, use the tools available. Additionally, if you have a Windows computer, Windows Movie Maker is kind of like the equivalent or the free software that comes with your computer as well. So don't be afraid to just throw some video clips in there and see kind of how the transitions work and the different effects and the text works as well. When you want to start doing some more advanced edits, so let's say like crazy transitions or different cuts or something that I did earlier with a split screen where I had myself over here as a clone, you might need something a little more powerful, and that's when you can try out something called DaVinci Resolve. That's a free program out there that anyone can access and download. Right now, I'm editing on a program called Sony Vegas. It's a program that's about $10 a month if you want to try it out. And there's also Adobe Premiere, which a bunch of people love, which is also, I think, like $20 a month or something like that. Feel free to browse Skillshare and YouTube for different editing programs and tips on how to use those in depth, because there's so much out there. But if you just want to get started, those free options are really easy to get started, and there's a few names that you can try and search for to get started as well. Here's a pro tip. Most premium editing software comes with a free trial, which will allow you a few free exports. Take advantage of the free trial to try before you buy. I got really comfortable on Sony Vegas by just using the free trial for 30 days. That was the way I made all my YouTube videos starting out, and after a month or so, I figured out how to edit. And with the help of some YouTube tutorials, which are invaluable when you're starting out on YouTube, I was off the ground in no time. All right, now that the video's made, let's talk about creating your channel. Now that you've got your video filmed, your video's edited, your video's exported, and you're ready to upload, it's time to create your YouTube channel. And I think this is the fun part. Now, if you haven't decided on a YouTube channel name, that is okay. You can start out just using your name. But if you have like a cool name that you come up with, then throw that in there too. My first YouTube name is called the Bermuda Soda. I used to mix up all of the sodas in a soda dispenser in a restaurant as a kid, and I called that the Bermuda Soda. Long story, but that became my YouTube handle. Believe it or not, people remembered it, and so that was kind of cool. But you can just start out with your name, or you can make a brand name as well. Here's a couple things to think about when you're thinking of a YouTube name. If you want to use a name other than your given name, be sure to opt for something catchy and easy to remember, but also easy to spell or type in if possible. It's good to start out with something that sticks in people's minds to help you get your channel off the ground. Once you've chosen your name, it's time to work on your channel branding. There's a lot of customization that can go into your YouTube channel, especially with your YouTube header. When you're making a YouTube header, you can just use a photo if you want to get started. But if you want to get everything sized right and make something that may look even more professional, be sure to check out my class on how to make a YouTube channel header. Once you get your channel all set up and you like the imagery, it's time to upload. So hit the upload button, drop in your file, and it's time to choose a title, a description, and tags. Here's a quick rundown of what your title should be. It should be noticeable, it should be easily searchable, and it should be something that people want to click on. While you don't want to be a complete copy of others, it's okay if your title is similar to theirs. One way to come up with titles is typing in a search for a video similar to what you're uploading and see what autofills in the search bar. That way, you'll be able to tell what others are searching for. When it comes to your description, you want the description to include maybe links to your social accounts, but also a description of your video, something that catches the viewer's eye, but also they can read more in depth about what your video is, and that'll help you when people are searching for your content. And when it comes to video tags, this is basically keywords. So think about if you wanted to optimize your video for search. How are people going to find your video? Is it about cell phones? Is it about the beach? Make sure you include as many keywords as you possibly can. And a good way to think about this is, what search terms would you use to find a video similar to yours? YouTube is something really dear to my heart, and I hope that you can find some real enjoyment in making your own videos. If you can get through all these tips and tricks and find a way to create your own YouTube video to share with us, I'd love to see it. Remember, it's not about the gear. It's about the story, and it's about your excitement in creating the content. If you care about the video, it will show. I want to thank you for watching, guys.